Are you thinking about moving to Huntsville, Alabama or somewhere in North Alabama? You've probably heard that Huntsville has been in the news lately and being rated as #1 place to live and work in U.S. News and World Report, which is very flattering for those of us who live here.
But we'd like to warn you of 5 things that you may not like if you move here.
Welcome to our channel. I'm Deb Robinson.
I'm Whit Robinson.
And we're the Rocket City Real Estate team. Our channel provides videos on where to live, how to buy and sell homes, market analyses, home tours, and a lot more.
Please comment below on our videos, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon, and be notified of new videos when they come out.
Now, back to the top 5 things you may not like about moving here. Number 1 is the traffic. The traffic in Huntsville, the population growth has been so significant in the last 5 years. And with all of that growth trajectory and lack of growth in public transportation, traffic has increased so much that we now have a morning and an evening rush hour.
The good news is there are lots of proposals and lots of construction started on improving the highways in northern Alabama. However, that comes with a price because you have construction stops, you have closed roads, you have a lot of mess. And at certain intersections, they're putting a lot more traffic lights, which are a little longer, but they're there for your safety.
Number 2, while infrastructure planning has started, it's still behind our fast growth. Our growth in the last few years has been so rapid that our roads, bridges, and school infrastructure are way behind.
The building of these new roads and bridges is starting to take a lot of resources. So it's putting a burden on existing repairs and older roads. And we also have very limited public transportation, and it's not keeping up. So with all these new apartment complexes, we're going to have a lot more people and parking problems.
Many of North Alabama schools are starting to get overcrowded as well, resulting in putting students in some of those mobile classrooms, longer school bus rides, higher student-teacher ratios, and so forth.
Fortunately, there are a lot of new schools popping up all over North Alabama, which should take the load off the current schools. But it's going to take time. In the meantime, we're going to have to live with those growing consequences.
Also, we have a major shortage of houses here. So that brings us to number 3 reason of what not to like about moving to Huntsville, Alabama. While inventory has doubled from this time last year, it's still lower than the pre-pandemic levels. This means we have a shortage of housing compared to the number of buyers that are moving into Huntsville and the surrounding North Alabama region. So that creates a lot of buyer demand and few houses on the market, which pushes up prices quite a bit.
In the last 3 years, northern Alabama home prices, taking into account all areas, condos, townhouses, single-family houses, has increased an average of 45.5%.
That's a big number in just 3 years, but there is good news. So the median home price in North Alabama is $291,000, and that compares to the national average of $348,000. So while home prices have risen quickly, it's still less expensive to buy a home here. But try finding a home for the median home price right now. Number 4 reason, have you ever flown into or out of Huntsville International Airport? It's really a great little airport. It is small, it's easy to get around, parking is easy, etc. And prices leaving from Huntsville Airport typically are somewhat higher than a lot of the other surrounding airports that are within driving distance. And the final thing about the airport is that if you want to travel internationally, leaving out of Huntsville Airport, you usually have to stop over at another major hub before flying to your international destination. That is, we have no direct flights to anywhere outside of the United States.
Except for some cargo flights, which is why we have an international airport. And unfortunately, we're close to Memphis, Chattanooga, Atlanta, Nashville, and Birmingham, all having international flights. And most times they have typically lower fares for these outbound flights to other countries.
And they're quick and easy to drive to them as well. So we are finally at our number 5 reason to not like living or moving to North Alabama. We're sure you've seen this in other videos, but the primary reason is our weather.
First of all, we get a lot of rain. Huntsville averages 56.7 inches of rain per year. We don't have a rainy season. As you can see from the graph, our rainfall is mostly evenly spread across through the years with very few exceptions.
This means it also gets very humid here. On the upside, it's warmer in Huntsville longer than it is cold. So we have a much longer warm season and a much shorter cold season than other areas do, which if you like being outside, it's great because you have that warmer weather a lot longer. And if you like to garden, we have a much longer growing season, allowing all kinds of flowers, fruits, and veggies to grow.
And tornadoes are common in Alabama. We all know this, but did you know there are times of years and locations in the state that see more tornadoes than others? That's true.
That is true. Tornadoes can happen also at any point during the year, but there are times when they're much more likely. For the primary season for tornadoes and other severe weather is typically in March, April, and the first part of May. That's when we see the majority of tornado activity on average every year across the state. April is by far the most active month. However, in November and December, we will often see some pop-up bad weather and severe weather and tornadoes.
However, the majority of the tornadoes occur in Mobile and Baldwin counties near the Gulf Shores down in southern Alabama. Northern Alabama gets fewer tornadoes up here. In the 7 years that I've been back, we came back, we have heard of sirens, but we have not seen any, although some of our friends and colleagues have. So you want to be prepared. You want to have a generator, you want to have candles, you want to have a safe place marked out in your house. You want to know what your kid's going to do when they're in school. So be prepared.
Despite these weather issues, don't you think that most states in the U.S. have some kind of a weather problem? Like some areas flood a lot, some areas get hurricanes, other states have tornadoes as well as us. Other states are freezing, other states are really, really hot.
Earthquakes.
There's earthquakes in other states. So we really think our weather, compared to some of those extreme weather occurrences, can be annoying, but not so bad as other areas.
There are a few other issues that we find frustrating, like the lack of really good high-end restaurants that aren't chain restaurants. And the same thing with shopping.
So while these don't make our top 5 list, they're just mostly an annoyance. And we do have several malls, strip malls, chain department stores, but very few chic, high-end clothing options that are really scattered throughout the region right now. So if you want to start a local business like this, come on to North Alabama. We could really use you. So this wraps up our top cons of living in Huntsville, Alabama.
As you can see, we don't think they're a really big deal. And if you watch our top 5 reasons to move here or our top 5 pros videos, you'll see why Huntsville, Alabama has become a top place to work and live.
And that's why we love it. So thanks for watching, and remember to please hit the subscribe button below and comment why you do or do not like some of these reasons.
Bye.